What a journey this has been. Can you believe we started this series back in March? I love looking at the full piece, which is up on my Tumblr by the way, because you can see the shift in my art style in the time that I worked on it. It's time to bring it back home, and I can't think of a more fitting end to this series than the newest addition to Miss Peregrine's wards. As per usual, and sadly for the last time on this app as we know it, major spoilers ahead for actually only the latter half of Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children today. A map of days, the Conference of the Birds, and the desolations of Devil's Acre. Meaning we actually don't have a movie segment for this one. It's a little heart-wrenching that we're starting near the end of my favorite book today specifically, but that's today's topic. Noor Pradesh exists as a character because Ransom Riggs' wife wanted POC representation in his first series, so everyone thank Tahira Mafi for this wonderful girl. Noor is introduced near the end of A Map of Days as a second American peculiar needing to be saved from the whites, and then after that plan predictably goes south like every single other plan these people make, she joins the main cast and becomes Jacob's endgame love interest. She's also the introduction to the prophecy that spurs on the series from then on out, and while there are endless opinions to be had about that specific plot point, I will take a random prophecy arc if it means we get a brand new face in Peculiardom, especially a permanent one. Do I think Jacob dated a new girlfriend less than 72 hours after he broke up with Emma? No, I do not. Do I think Noor's character was intensely flattened the same way Emma's was the second she became Jacob's love interest? Yes, I do. However, I think it's so interesting that functionally she's a second Jacob, all things considered. She's very clearly meant to take over Emma's spot as Jacob's second in command, successfully or not, but she's also in exactly the same position he was at the beginning of the series, and it's almost surreal to watch him guide her through Peculiardom the way he was by the rest of the cast. That is absolutely not to say I like every aspect of their dynamic. It's pretty icky to me that he trusts Emma to take care of herself, but becomes one of the many, many people who absolutely refuse to let Noor do absolutely anything out of overprotectiveness. But I do think they have fundamentally a healthier relationship than Jacob and Emma had. They lack the communication issues that were Jacob and Emma's downfall, and when Noor is actually allowed to do things, she kicks ass, working very well with the rest of the Peculiars in battle. Her peculiarity is deadly. Jacob describes the balls of light she fires at the whites as searing their targets like a steak on a grill, and she's known about her powers for what, a couple days? A couple weeks if you count the incident at her school? Noor is a force to be reckoned with, and despite her inexperience with her peculiarity, her level of street smarts and just how tough she is having grown up in the foster system means she's a powerful opponent. It's almost no wonder she had such a big part in saving Peculiardom even as a newbie. Unfortunately for her, though, even the most powerful weapons are useless if they are never actually utilized. On top of being Jacob's love interest and having the same problems Emma had until her introduction, being a prophecy kid means every adult on the goddamn planet and also her boyfriend have decided that Noor Pradesh does not need to go outside actually. She is in fact never allowed to do anything remotely helpful literally ever in her life because she is too valuable and therefore must be protected at all costs. I would like to argue that sending her out with a spark, a dead riser, a boy who controls bees, a boy who can see the future, and her boyfriend who controls the most immediate threat to their existence, among others, makes her thoroughly protected, but not even Jacob would have listened to me on that one, so what do I know? She quite literally has to sneak out of the house and swear Olive to secrecy to be given enough agency by the narrative to actually fulfill that prophecy we're all so worried about, and that whole ordeal could have been completely avoided if the Imbrans had let her go on more than 2 missions by this point in the series. When Jacob, Hugh, Emma, and Enoch discovered Fiona was alive, she was literally forced to stay home and look for her adoptive mother with Horace because Jacob just didn't want to think about her ever being harmed by the realities of being peculiar in the middle of a war. When they do find where her mom is, she and Jacob have to sneak out on their own to go see her, only for the books to immediately kill her off in what I can imagine was some attempt to justify why Noor was never allowed outside, somehow. This whole thing was a mess and was also completely avoidable. Let Noor go outside. Let Noor be badass, please. Please, Ransom, I beg you, let your women be badass. They all deserve it. Noor deserves it. Despite being a latecomer to the series as a whole, Noor, I think, rounds out the cast perfectly. I was worried being an addition to the original 10 would make her more forgettable, but she found a way to be the opposite, at least for me. She's such an enjoyable character when she has her time to shine, just like everyone else here. And just like that, our cast is complete. Thank you all so much for sticking with me on this journey, even with the huge gaps in between. For those here on TikTok, there's a video about where to find me after today, and if you're seeing these on YouTube, welcome! Thanks for watching.